Passed Out. I'm Josh.
Hey, it's Arash.
It has been like the craziest fucking week, right? I feel like there's been so much news in politics, there's been so much news in entertainment. There's so much that has happened this week between like conventions that have announced stuff, like the PlayStation convention this week. There was some crazy news. I feel like there was a crazy piece of news I saw in the football world this week.
The Switch 2 came out,
Yeah, dude, exactly. Like there a lot happened this week.
but just in entertainment and political world, there's not enough fucking popcorn in the world to to satisfy all of the shit that's been going on there.
Oh my god, I know. The internet has lost its mind over the Elon and Trump stuff, which
Oh my God. So
this whole thing is fucking crazy.
we are recording what? Saturday, what is today? The
Today the
7th?
7th,
Yeah.
June 7th. Saturday, June 7th.
So, it's a little bit before this will post up, but the last that I saw from Elon is him. Okay, let's just start it from the beginning. So Trump and Elon are not BFFs anymore, and Elon wants to make the America Party, and he put out a tweet saying that Trump was in the Epstein files, hinting that it's more than just him being on the flight logs, and that's why they haven't been released yet. And honestly, that's what I've been thinking this whole time. That's Cash Patel and Dan Bongino saying that, oh yeah, we have video of him, of Epstein. Actually, I don't think we can use the S word on here, but offing himself, and
Yeah.
that's crazy. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this whole mess?
It's so fucking crazy, like how fast it escalated quickly between the two of them. They're both just so active online, they're just very active guys on Twitter. So when one of them pops off, like the next one pops off, and then like every single news, like I feel like both their Twitter feeds are just like fueling the news fires.
Well,
Um,
the interesting thing is
but
Trump has been using Truth Social, which
yeah.
I'm not getting anytime soon. Fuck getting another social
Yeah,
media
no,
app.
I won't fucking get that either. But it's interesting, I feel like Elon's been starting to retreat for quite a while. Like I feel like for almost a month now, I feel like he's been getting quieter and quieter since they've been boycotting his companies, and he's just gotten a lot of bad fucking press. Like I think the last biggest news piece about him, once the Doge stuff kind of died down, was about, another baby mama. So and then, we knew, you knew he was going to step down from Doge. This has been going, we've been getting to this point for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, and so
But
if you go back to our episode, Elon Musk has a black eye, or by Elon Musk's black eye, that's what it's called.
oh my God, dude.
We
I,
kind of wondered why like he looked so weird in it.
bro, have you read the theories around his black eye?
The only one that I brought up was, and I haven't seen any since, was that it was like a humiliation ritual. What did
Okay, so I have gone a little deep on this, and and I mentioned that somebody who was working closely with Elon from the White House staff had left to go work for Elon when he was going to leave Doge. Now this has happened. Now that is Katie Miller, who is the husband of Stephen Miller, who is the White House deputy chief of fucking staff.
No
Okay.
way.
Now she is on the White House Intelligence Advisory Board. Okay. Now she was appointed by her husband to basically be Elon's handler when they brought Elon into the fucking White House. And now she's left to go be with his company. There are fucking rumors of an affair, and the fucking the punch is on Elon's right eye. Stephen Miller, fucking left-handed, bro.
Dude. So wow. Okay, so this is, oh man, this is crazy. Remember, I I can't verify this right now, but there was somewhere where I believe, Elon said that something about getting the White House cucked. Remember seeing that? I swear to God, dude, I've seen
No, but this like it just yeah, bro, it all
that that
fits
that
so well. If
I'm
it's not
convinced.
like I just so like I really think that they solved the Elon Black Eye thing this week with that.
I haven't
And
seen Stephen Miller talk lately either.
uh, yeah, dude, I don't know. He's probably just if everybody's like, wouldn't you retreat too if everybody was like, "Is your wife having an affair with Elon Musk?" Wouldn't you be like, "Oh man, if
Is
it's
she
true,
hot?
bro?" Like, uh, I'm not sure. Hold on, let me let me look her up.
Because poor Stephen Miller, oof. I can't say I'm much better, but even then, he's still kind of. I'd hang out with him just to boost my looks points up.
She's hot and like she's probably kind of controlling kind of way. Like she'd bust your balls a little bit.
Well, I could
um,
see Elon liking that.
Yeah, exactly. That's not really the type of girl that I would go for, but yeah, she's all
She
right.
doesn't look like Mike Huckabee's daughter.
No, absolutely not. She's married to Stephen Miller. Like, how much? Like, what were we really expecting?
Hey, you never know. Like he's rich. He has
Yeah,
power. You know, I would never
true.
see Melania with Trump. Well, no, he has a history of doing, being with decent looking Eastern European women.
Yeah,
Wow, dude,
absolutely,
I'm not gonna say 100%, but that's like 99% what happened. He's left-handed, and the
bro.
black
He's
guy.
left-handed. Yeah. And
Oh,
it's not like it wasn't like a huge black eye. Like kind of looked like a weak punch that just didn't land perfectly. And I'm like, that makes total sense coming from Stephen Miller. Like he seems like a guy who probably can't punch very well. Poor left hook.
I mean, I've been punched a lot, and the only time I've gotten a black eye was when the dude had rings on his fingers. So
Oh, really?
I,
Damn.
Stephen Miller clocked him pretty
Yeah,
well to get a black eye, especially someone who's taller than him. I think.
yeah. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever had a black eye. I don't think I have. I haven't been in very many fights. Very non-confrontational.
Me too.
I'll fight when I have to, but for the most part, I'm not really. I'm really not trying to stir anything.
Elon seems like the type of guy to be pretty passive as well with physical confrontation, and that's kind of
Yeah,
a common thing for people. I'm pretty sure he has autism, like somewhere on the spectrum, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like there's
Which
there's no way that he's not.
honestly, whose side are you on? Or are you Team Trump or Team Elon? Even if you're not like one side 100%.
Um, I don't think this is good either way. Like I kind of think Elon's. Do you think Elon like turned on it just because he's upset about something that like he was maybe promised that's not happening now, and like all of a sudden he's just like throwing a fucking fit about it? Or do you
Well,
think that he's just been like, they've been bullying me into supporting this and I don't fucking support this and I'm fucking done? Like where do you think Elon's coming from? I'm not trying to avoid your question. I'm just curious about like kind of where my thought process is like I don't it's hard for me to see either side as a win.
Well, same. That's probably the answer, the correct answer. But Elon uh, responded to Trump's claims, saying that like it was because of removing the tax on electric vehicles, like a $2,800 tax credit that's been removed in the big beautiful bill. And there's videos that he reposts or other people have posted on Twitter that he retweeted about Elon during the Biden administration, saying that like he doesn't care about the tax credit. Um, he's like, remove it. He's like, if that makes government spending less, remove it. I don't care. And there's like multiple instances of him saying that. So I don't think it has to do with that.
I didn't know that, so like that makes total sense. So if he's fine with it and he doesn't care, then yeah, like then
His claim is that this bill that they put in is going to increase spending across the board. And I don't know why Elon is so concerned, considering he's a billionaire,
yeah.
uh, on why he's upset. The, maybe the bill makes it to where people above a certain tax bracket have to pay more. I don't know. Like,
Does he do you feel like he thinks if they squeeze the my understanding of this bill is that it gives a huge tax break to people over a certain threshold. And I don't know what the absolute truth is. It's not, I haven't read the fucking bill, but my understanding is that you basically push some of that expense so that you don't increase the debt ceiling onto the middle class is kind of my understanding. And maybe Elon's point is if you're going to try and the more that you squeeze, eventually you'll have a ripple effect that affects the billionaires. Yes, they have all this money right now, and yes, they have enough where they'll never run out of money. But at a certain point, their companies will start hurting because if you keep squeezing the American consumer to where they're not spending anymore, maybe they stop buying your electric cars. And I think there's already a bad name around Tesla with all these boycotts going on. And I think they have lost quite a bit of money. So I think maybe his concern is that he's going to sell less things if people can't buy any.
that's true. I mean, Tesla, there's a graph that I saw within like the last few years that even with the amount it's gone down recently, it's been up like 1,800% in the past like a couple of years. So overall, he's not hurting yet. I could see the concern down the road, but I don't know. I don't. It's tough to say. Like, is it because Elon is afraid he's going to get the tax bill for it? Would he even be concerned paying more taxes, or is it like you said, to where it'll fall upon the middle class? They have less money to spend. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I got to do more research on it.
Yeah, it's nonetheless it's complicated. It's obviously it's a nice I think it has I think it has a good effect on the public right now, like everybody seems to have come together to be like, "Holy shit, let me get my popcorn." Fucking this Elon and Trump feud was probably the biggest event of the week. I feel like it kind
For
of
sure. For sure.
foreshadowed a lot of other things that were happening this week. But
Now, did was that the only like good theory you read? Are there any other good theories about why
no,
Elon?
I didn't really have any other good theories. I did have just I think my lack of knowledge on certain things makes me question some of the things happening, like Trump threatening to cancel all of Elon's government contracts. Like, how many government contracts does he have? Like, and what all are they doing?
Dude, the biggest one, the the International Space Station. He's the only one that could send rockets up to space right now and make repairs on the ISS. And if the ISS were to fucking fall right now, there's no way to that the U.S. government in time can go and fix that. And Elon even retweeted about that, like kind of like laughing at the point that if the ISS were to come down, it would just come down. It's kind
What
of a
would it
scary thought.
hit? How much damage would it do if the space station came down?
It would do significant. I mean, they can't control where it depends when it falls.
Depends
Yeah,
on yeah, it depends on where the Earth's rotation is at that point where it falls. So like when they come back down, they really time it so that they hit like a certain place in, the ocean, or I guess these things can land themselves now, like at least when they send rockets back down.
yeah. With the rockets, yes, yeah, they could do the reusable rockets. But if it's something like the ISS, just for some reason
Yeah.
decommissioning.
Well, I guess my other question was about all this was like what are we using the space station for at this point? But like if it is really just repairs to keep it from falling into the earth, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, there's a lot of infrastructure stuff too, like all the satellites are GPS, um, spying on our enemies. I'm sure,
Yeah, absolutely.
making sure someone doesn't uh, send a rocket. Like if some other country tests a rocket or sends a rocket out to us, like how the fuck are we gonna know?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I don't know, maybe not the best idea to cancel some of Elon's government contracts.
But it's also it comes to the point of where like why do we depend on one private individual? Why isn't our government handling this? That's the danger of putting private entities into the government.
Yeah, when did it shift from NASA could do all of this to the point where we have to rely on SpaceX to go handle these things? Why couldn't NASA get like have we defunded NASA to the point where like they can't do anything?
It seems like it. It really
Did
does
they
seem
just
like it.
transfer all of that money to SpaceX instead? Is that what happened?
I think
Was
it
this Trump?
saves.
Did they take all the money from NASA to try and build this fucking space force that hasn't fucking happened yet?
That's a good point. I don't know, but I want to say SpaceX was still like 2008. Yeah, it might have been during the first Trump administration where it really
I
shifted.
think it was during this first Trump administration when they kind of took, when they started getting more funding, and obviously you're probably funneling that funding away from NASA.
I mean, up until this point, I want to say it's been pretty successful, right? Like they made leaps and bounds as far as the rocketry goes. But
Yeah, yeah. SpaceX has made in the last 20 years they've made more rocket discoveries, and just like my brain is not working today. I cannot think of the word I was trying to think of. Innovation.
uh,
Yeah, their innovations to like the space industry have been great. But I think it all just plays back to you're absolutely right, where you can't just rely on one private entity to handle these things. The government, we need a government program that is not directly tied to this stuff.
one thing I want to go back on is the timing of this whole thing is kind of strange because Trump just came back from the Middle East where he had big ass deals with Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and then he comes back and maybe on paper these countries, like the princes of these countries, don't show that they have more wealth than Elon, but I can guarantee you that the emirs or princes or whatever in these countries definitely have more purchasing power than Elon. And so I'm sure they didn't have many demands. They're just trying to appease Trump. And Trump is like, well, what have you done for me lately? I don't know if Trump would side with Stephen Miller like that. I know he likes Stephen Miller, but it seemed like he liked Elon just as much to where he'd be like, "You guys figure this out." And it's interesting to wonder why he would directly side with Stephen Miller more than Trump or more than Elon. But Stephen Miller is in the cabinet.
Yeah, and like also Trump wants a bunch of yes men. He doesn't want anybody who fucking checks him. He doesn't want anybody who questions his judgment. Trump, he assumes that he's the smartest man in the room, and if you don't agree with that, then fuck you. This is what happens when you put a media mogul narcissist in the White House. He's trying to run America like one of his businesses, and he's used to just being the head honcho of his businesses, where he walks in, they're like, oh, this is the fucking CEO of Trump Corp, and then it's just, so everybody's like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And he wants the government to run like one of his yes man businesses. At least that's kind of what I think.
No,
I'm not a fucking scholar though, but like that's the vibe I get when I look at that man.
cool. Well, what else did you have on the docket today?
I don't know. Are we ready to move on from have we touched enough on the Trump Elon feud?
Yeah, I've gotten depressed enough.
There was one tweet that like I really thought was funny, and it was who gets Joe Rogan in the divorce, and
Who gets Alex Jones in the divorce? It's Trump, right? Trump for sure.
Yeah, Trump, yeah, yeah, and I'm guessing Elon will get Joe Rogan.
I think so. I think Joe's even been critical of Trump, if I'm not mistaken, lately.
Joe has been very critical of Trump. I think Joe turned on Trump when Trump sent innocent people to El Salvador prisons.
Was he innocent though? That
I don't
guy's
know.
wife. I mean, I know. Sometimes wives. I mean, she called the police on him quite a few times, and he had a lot of undocumented people in his van, and like many states away. And as someone who's been a mule for illegal activity quite a few times in different states, to me that sounds pretty shady.
Probably. But do you think that the crime fits the punishment? I think is the real question. I don't
If he's if,
I agree
if
with
he's
you.
here legally,
Me calling him innocent is wrong, but
if his visa was
just
up and he
it,
committed a crime or multiple crimes,
yeah.
then it sucks. I mean, I wish there was a way, you know, it, the only thing is, should he be
The
locked up here or should he be locked up there? Either way, he should be locked up. I don't think that guy is like an upstanding citizen to where we should have senators fucking going and having margaritas with him.
that's true, but I think the bigger conversation is there's probably a different way to handle some of these immigration issues.
Yeah, it breaks my heart when you see ICE going into like taco shops and fucking looking like the goddamn Gestapo. I hate using that term because that was way worse. But it looks really, really bad on the optics.
It's not unsimilar though, you know? And that's the reason that they're compared. One, yes, more extreme, but you know, I just leveling ICE up to be like a fucking military immigration force instead of just like what it was is just
I don't know why it always reminds me of Shinra. Ice just reminds me of Shinra from Final Fantasy.
man, speaking of Final Fantasy, did you see all the announcements from PlayStation this week? There's been a lot.
Well, I saw one, and you know exactly which one I'm excited for. The Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Oh, dude. But that's coming out on the Switches, Xbox, both. I think even the one, the Series X and S, and then obviously PlayStation 4 and 5. I didn't see the other ones. What were the other ones?
They announced a lot of games that I think were that are in development and stuff like that, and they showed a bunch of trailers for stuff that not a ton of stuff that I was super interested in, but the one thing that I did really enjoy is the fact that they announced that they're making a an open world Blade game that's going to be like that made by the same developer as Spider-Man,
Oh,
where you're going to like be Blade like fucking like just like
I would play that.
hunting vampires, and I was like, yes, fucking give me that game. I'm here for
Dude,
it.
just imagine the nightclub scene in the beginning. That opening scene is going to be
it
so sick.
I know, dude. Yes. So I'm hoping there's some shit in there like that, you know. So that was the biggest thing I was excited for. I think while we're on it, let's what how do you feel about the Switch 2 release? You got any thoughts on Nintendo or
You know,
anything coming out on it that you're gonna kind of want to go get it?
I saw a lot of people like trying to boycott Nintendo just because of like the anti-piracy stuff on there to where they could make it a brick for like, and then there was like this agreement where like you can't even sue Nintendo, which we could one day go deep in that with like these I forgot what the term is, but like you have to go into arbitration. You can't even sue Nintendo now if you own a Nintendo. And like they could break your system if you try to sue them. But that's like that's
Interesting.
what am I gonna fucking sue Nintendo?
Yeah, what are we trying to sue Nintendo for?
I
Like
don't know.
we have your system, it's in our house. We all have games that we enjoy on the
There's
Nintendo,
seizure warnings on them now.
you know.
Like I Nintendo's the least of my worries, but I'm I'm not the type of guy to get new systems. Shit, I don't even know which next gen system I want. The problem with Nintendo is like it's you're having a PS4 Pro handheld now, and the PS5 is probably going to be not the current gen in like 2 or 3 years. So you're getting like you're getting games that came out like 5 years ago on it now. Which Cyberpunk on the go sounds very fucking cool. But there's this you have the Steam
Yeah,
Deck.
but like are you going to want to buy that game
Yeah, you have the
again
Steam Deck.
to play in a handheld setting when you're like I already paid for this on a different console?
Well, I someone in my position might because I can't download Phantom Liberty, which is a DLC for it. The DLC only came out on the next gen
Yeah.
systems, which is fucking lame. Um, so I would do another run of it on there, uh, just for the DLC. But if I want the DLC, I might as well just go get a PS5 or I would probably at this point, even though I have games on the PlayStation Network that I yet to play, I might just get a PS4 again and then just get like an Xbox Series, whatever, so I can have. I don't know. If someone wants to help me out on this decision, I greatly appreciate it. All I know is I want to get GTA 6.
Um I I've been a PlayStation stan since fucking day one. You know, like we got it when it first came out, and I just remember playing like Tomb Raider and like fucking Resident Evil when the PlayStation first came out when I was a kid, and I loved PlayStation. Xbox didn't come out, I don't think, until I was. What year did Xbox come out? I think I may have been in middle school, but like I had already had a PlayStation for so long that I got the PlayStation 2. You know, my brother kind of turned into an Xbox guy, but like I was always a
Yeah,
PlayStation guy.
Xbox is
And
a generation behind. The thing with Xbox is the Game Pass is wonderful. Like right now, I'm playing this really popular game. Sorry to throw it off conversation for a little bit, but Claire
are
Obscura
you good?
Expedition 33, and I could play that.
Bro, I
Oh,
want
it's
to
so good.
it,
It's
I'm going to get it for PlayStation, bro. It looks so
they're calling it
beautiful.
Final French to See because it's like a French developer, and it's just like it plays just like Final Fantasy, dude. But there's little nuances to it to where it's its own thing. It's really cool. And on the Xbox, I just paid for Game Pass, and granted, it's only like $40 if you get it at the store. But I have a last gen system, and I could play it through cloud gaming. I could play the new Doom Dark Ages on cloud. Like I don't need to even take up space on my Xbox to download it. I could just play it on the go, which is really fucking cool. But PlayStation still has those um, exclusives that are like Spider-Man. Probably Blade is going to be the same thing. It's probably going to come out PlayStation only. But yeah, there's my little rant on Xbox's side.
Yeah, you think Wolverine might be fucking PlayStation exclusive too then? Cuz Wolverine will come out before fucking Blade.
Wolverine.
They just announced Blade, and they announced
Well,
Wolverine
you know
quite a
what?
while
Now that I
ago.
think about it, since Spider-Man is a Sony, like Sony bought the rights to it, that might be a little bit different. Oh no,
Yeah,
X-Men
different than
is technically right, or did
uh,
Marvel get that back?
Marvel has everything except for
Okay.
Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk. So Universal still owns a piece of Hulk, and like they have to make deals with Universal constantly for Hulk rights. That's why there will never be a Hulk solo movie, and Hulk is only as in other characters' movies or Avenger movies. Um,
Universal got it after Marvel released that one movie with not Eric Bana, but the first one with Edward Norton.
so that was like a dual deal where they allowed them to do that, but it's complicated. It's complicated. I don't fully understand it enough to really talk about it, but they let them do that first movie, and then after that, when they switched actors to Mark Ruffalo, it pretty much became a Hulk can't have a solo movie ever again.
Oh, okay.
So that was
That makes
also like one of Marvel's lesser. It's not the that released the same. Basically, Marvel dropped Iron Man in May, and then July dropped the Hulk, and the Hulk did not do as good as Iron Man. You know, and I think that some of it came down to that.
So that's why they still consider Iron Man the start of the Marvel universe.
Yes.
That makes sense. So yeah, I think Blade, since he's Marvel, I think that'll be a
Is Marvel.
release on both Xbox, PlayStation. Um, what else came out in the PlayStation news?
Um, I can't remember anything. Then nothing else really stuck out to me too much. Wait, hold on. Did you play Final Fantasy Tactics
The OG one?
back in the day on PlayStation 2?
I thought it
Yes.
was PS1.
It might have been
Yeah, it came out
PS1.
right after seven. Yeah, that's I like the tactics or like the grid system.
They are remastering it for PS5.
That's cool. I don't know if I would want to play it again with updated graphics, unless if it's like third person.
They might be updating the graphics and doing more than just a typical boosting it to the new
So it's going
system.
to be like how
It looked like there was more
kind of like how they redid
to it.
Final Fantasy VII games. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'd honestly rather have a game like Final Fantasy VIII redone before that, but
Bro, thank you, dude. I love Final Fantasy VIII. It does not get enough love, but like the summoning in 8 just it works so well and works so well with the fucking story. I love 8.
yeah, the little twist.
Dude, 7, 8, and 9 all fucking great games. I think the 3 of those back to back is like one of the best. I know a lot of people love 10, but like I fucking love 7 through 9. Those are great fucking games.
Eight was like really fun to play, like you said, and the updates they made on that
Yeah.
were cool. But the
Mhm.
little twist in the story at the end was kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know, it kind of seemed like,
They don't always stick the landing.
oh, it was just a dream, basically. And someone complains about spoilers. That game came out fucking 20 some odd years ago, so don't cry.
But yeah, I think that's really all I had on PlayStation and Nintendo. I did man, I saw an article this week talking about like how Nintendo got its start after the Nintendo after, the Switch 2 came out. And I didn't know. Did you know how Nintendo got its start at all?
Yeah, they were like a card game company, right?
Like I guess American playing cards, like decks were outlawed in Japan. So like Nintendo from the 1800s to the 1960s were the dominating company in playing cards in Japan. And then playing cards took a hit when when TV became more accessible. And I was like, this makes so much fucking sense. And then Nintendo was like, how do we still make money with people using TVs? And then they made their first arcade game, and then they made their first playable TV game, which was like a console that like plugged into the TV um, with like one game on it, I think. And then they made the NES.
Nintendo, say what you want
So
about Nintendo, but they're
crazy.
so good into adapting. Like they're completely focused on hardware, as opposed to Xbox and PlayStation, where it's yeah, they focus on the hardware too to have the latest and the greatest, but it's a software that allows the hardware to thrive.
Yeah, like yeah, dude, they want they're really obsessed with graphics and having the best software and the Unreal Engine and,
And
the game experience.
then
But I think Nintendo has always been the
yes,
innovator. And Nintendo's the
yes,
innovator of the fucking
yeah.
system and how it's going to go. And I think the Switch has been their best innovation in a very long time. Like how do you make a handheld and a game console at the same time that is very that's not hard to move. The PlayStation 5 is fucking massive. It's real bulky. I would never travel or move around with that thing. But the Switch, bro, the Switch breaks down and goes into like a little travel case that's like in Laurel's purse, like most of the time. Like,
Yeah, I have the Switch Lite, which is kind of well. I guess they have things for it now where you can connect it to HD, like HDMI.
yeah,
But I have the one that where the controller doesn't break off. It's just
yeah,
like a DS, like
yeah.
the
We've
DS.
we've got the one that breaks off, and it's really just because the only game that we play together is Mario Party. Like, like a couple times a month, we'll just like be like, hey, you want to play around a Mario Party? And, you know, we'll just, we kind of play like we're on a team trying to fight the computers, which is fun.
I am curious to play. I mean, not enough to spend like fucking $700 on it, but I am curious to try out how the new Mario, what is it called, Mario Kart World.
So, dude, I saw that people were disappointed in the open world aspect of it so far.
I didn't even know it had an open world. So it's like Diddy Kong Racing meets Mario Kart.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. And it seems like people are like a little disappointed with what it is so far from what I've seen. Like it's another good Mario Kart game if you're playing like the regular game, but I guess like uh some of what of it was touted as is not as good as it could have been probably from what I was looking at.
Interesting. That's a bold game to release with the Switch. Usually it's like a Mario game,
Yeah.
maybe even like something Zelda, but to have a racing
Yeah,
game,
dude, like maybe they've got something up their sleeve that they're going to do a surprise drop on.
I don't know. I feel like they're not really good at secrets, but do you know off the top of your head when
Nobody's really that good at secrets anymore, but
I would say Nintendo?
the internet changed
Yeah,
that.
that's true. That's true too.
They're the best at it though, right? Like they're probably the best at it because
Unless if you live
they're in
in Japan,
Japan.
yeah.
Like yeah, dude, and like I feel like they're more secretive with stuff than America. And like there are certain games that come out on the Switch that are just for Japan that they don't release to
Oh,
America.
so many games. I mean, that this goes way back to
Yeah,
even the
dude. So
Nintendo
like,
64. Like the disc drive never came out here.
uh-huh. Yeah, dude. Like so like there are always things that they will hold to themselves that we'll never get.
Cool. What else did you have on the dock?
Uh Pittsburgh Steelers. How do you bro, Aaron Rodgers, what's the fucking point at this? Like, why are you gonna pay Aaron Rodgers $20 million after two fucking injuries? Like, what are we
That
doing?
is so rare.
Explain this
That's
to
so
me.
rare for the Steelers to do. They are not known for going out and getting free agents like that. This is the thing.
Yeah, what's their play?
This is their play. They have the Ravens in their division, the Bengals in their division. So that's already two tough teams. Uh, their quarterback situation. They already tried the whole Russell. Do, do they have Russell Wilson on their team now? Or no, he's on the Giants
I
now.
don't
He's on
know.
the Giants now. So they want at least a veteran presence in that quarterback room. $20 million is a lot, but they're in win now mode. They have some good receivers. You need an elite quarterback, and I think Aaron Rodgers can provide that if he has a good O line. The Jets had a very defensive minded coach, Robert Sala, who came from when the 49ers were elite. Um, so I could see, the Pittsburgh coach is still, Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the league still, to where Aaron Rodgers might thrive in that system. I don't know about Super Bowl contenders, but it does make them better. And if he retires after this year, it's only 1 year of $20 million. And for a quarterback with his resume, that's, believe it or not, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
You said it
Yeah,
was.
because when you break down some of these, I think when you break down some of the highest paid quarterbacks, they're making like 30 million a year, right? When you break down their 5 year contract,
Uh, yeah, maybe even
Who's
more.
the highest paid right now?
I don't think Jared Goff is. Oh man, there's Jared Goff, Matt Stafford, um, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, um, the dude from Houston. Can't believe I'm blinking. I always want to say Deshaun Watson.
No, fuck it,
Not Deshaun
bro.
Watson.
Oh
It's not.
my
It's not
god,
him. But no, the Houston quarterback's really good.
you're not gonna believe it. You're not gonna believe who the highest paid quarterback in the league is right now.
Oh my God, who?
This is
Oh,
a
Brock Purdy?
fucking
No, it's not
joke.
Brock Purdy.
Dak
Dak
Prescott.
Prescott. Oh,
Dak Prescott, bro.
oh. I mean, that's Jerry Jones for
It
you.
says Dak Prescott's averaging. It says the Dallas. It says Dallas is paying him an average of 60 million a year.
That explains a lot.
That is insane. Holy shit. That makes me even so much more at mad at the Cowboys. I'm never gonna respect. I want to like them a little bit because I fucking live in Dallas. This is where I live. This is where I'm gonna live for a long time now. And like I want to like I want to feel some camaraderie for the fucking team here, and it's so fucking hard for me to because I just don't. They do so many things that I'm like, you guys just make terrible fucking decisions behind the scenes. You're never gonna be a good fucking football team.
A lot of people saying that as long as Jerry Jones is the one making decisions, that he will, especially in the salary cap era, you can't have an owner
Yeah.
who is so involved. Like I, I,
Mm-hmm.
I get mad at the Rams all the time, but at least their owner is someone who's balling, and the only person that he wants to pick is the GM, which I love Les Snead so much. And then he lets Sean McVay kind of get in his ear too, and it's like it's a whole system. And the Rams, they should, with all the trades they did when they won the Super Bowl, they should have been a shitty team for a longer time, but they've just adapted. Like they used to be a team to where they were like literally it was like fuck the picks. Let's just get free agents. Let's do trades. We don't want draft picks. And now that they were in the position that they're in, they've made some banger choices in the third, fourth rounds of the draft to where they're still relevant. And you think Jerry Jones would get the hint. And I like Jerry Jones because he was a big reason why the owners allowed the Rams to move to LA from St. Louis. But as an owner, like a not someone who's involved in the NFL as a whole, as an owner for his own team, I could see the frustration from the fans on why you'd still have Dak Prescott being, why you would even put yourself in the position to have Dak be still to this day the highest paid quarterback in the league.
It made sense. It probably made sense at some point in his career, but not in a while. Not in some time.
And he's still young. Like, he's not a bad quarterback, but he's not that difference maker that to where you'd want him on your team like that. You need to put
Yeah.
incentives in these contracts. Like if you throw this many touchdowns in a season, you get this much more. It's oh man. How does it say on there how
Yeah.
much longer he has on his contract?
Uh Let me look.
With stuff like that, sometimes like it makes it's kind of
He just signed a 4-year extension to
you
2028.
know,
And his 4-year extension was $240 million.
oh my, that is so bad.
That Yeah, bro. Which which is 60 a year, but holy shit. Like they're just throwing away fucking money.
And you would think that they would try to get in the draft at least either offensive linemen. At that point, you just draft offense and get some scrubs on defense.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Their coach though,
Yeah.
their coach
Wow.
uh, used to be the. Is it? You'd have to search this. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure it's the dude who's quarterback at Boise State when Boise State had like a fucking crazy offense. Uh, Keller, I want to think it's Keller, something like that.
Oh, the head coach of the
Yeah.
Cowboys? The head coach right now is Brian Schottenheimer.
Oh my God, that's the worst. Never mind. Oh man, Brian Schottenheimer, he used to be the OC for the Rams, and he was awful. fucking awful. Granted, he spent some time in Seattle to where they did better, but he is not deserving as a coach. His dad was a decent coach, but he never got anything done with the Browns or the Chiefs. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, this is his first season with the
Yeah,
Cowboys. He's replacing Mike McCarthy.
okay, yeah. So I think it was just a rumor for them to get that former Boise State coach, but they got shot in nine.
Yeah.
That is, they're going to
Yeah.
be 6-11 this year. You have, I want to keep wanting to say Redskins, but you have the Commanders, you have the Eagles. They were in the NFC Championship game last year, and then you have the Giants team, who's
Yeah.
pretty bad, but I think they're on the up and up. They're trying at least.
Yeah.
They're not.
And they've got yeah, I look, I don't know how many I don't know what Russell Wilson's going to do for them. I thought that Russell Wilson was going to fix the Broncos, and like I think I was naively optimistic of that, and it didn't work. Um and we'll see how long he starts, since the Giants also just signed Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I think there's two things with the Giants there. I don't think you were naive to think Russell Wilson was going to do well. Um, they may have traded a little too much for him, but the Broncos, shit,
I
they've
think
already
so. Yeah.
bounced back. They were in the playoffs last season, so
Yeah, dude, like, bro, Bo Nix fucking that good. He looks good, and I think him and Sean Payton have a good relationship, and I like the Broncos' new GM. Like, I I'm feeling good about the Broncos right now. I think we're heading somewhere good. I had a couple more things that I just wanted to touch on real quick. Uh, have you seen dude, I'm gonna bring it back to Alien and Predator again, because like I feel like right now they're that's the franchise that's gonna be just giving right now. I think Prey and Alien Romulus changed the trajectory of things for them, but because I feel really good about it. Have you heard? So, I'm gonna watch it tonight probably, but Hulu just dropped the new animated Predator movie. I think you'll like the premise of this. So it's like Prey, whereas like Prey, they were like, let's see what happens when you drop a predator in, you know, I think Comanche is what the type of Native Americans they were.
yeah,
So like you drop them into like a Comanche tribe. Okay, so the new animated Predator movie, three different segments, three different fucking time periods. You get Predator fighting Vikings.
Rob would
You
love
get
that.
Predator fighting ninjas and samurai in feudal Japan.
Cool.
And then you get a fucking Predator warship fight with dog pilot fighters from World War II.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna watch that tonight, and I'm pretty excited. But like, and then on top, I think making Predator fight different types of like people that you're like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. Like I'm not crazy about like planes and shit like that, but so like I'm the least excited about the World War II one,
Same.
but man, am I super stoked to see Predator in feudal Japan fighting ninjas. I'm fucking here for it.
What if the Predators are like Nazis in the World War II one? Like, Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil.
The Predator's got a little Hitler stash between his claws.
They're all blonde. Their dreadlocks are all blonde. It would explain a lot of different things, like how Nazis got their technology. I wonder if they have the balls to do that, because
Yeah.
that would automatically make it
Oh
my
my
favorite
god.
one. Nazi
Yeah.
Predators.
That's kind of like what Marvel was doing. Marvel was like, the Nazis were good because they had the Tesseract. But yeah, dude, if the Nazis had Predator technology, man, that's a good thought.
Predators in Afghanistan wouldn't last that long. Pakistan would send a nuke, or you'd see just suicide bombers.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be that exciting.
Where else could you drop a predator? That'd be cool. Like fucking.
Whoops. Just a bunch of hippies like using crystals.
They're like, "What are you boofing, man?"
Dude, this is some sick dreads, brah. You want to put these heady crystals in them? And the predators just like start smoking weed, having acid trips together. They're like, we like it here. We win.
Bro, I'm really I'm gonna go back to the Predator Badlands trailer because that reminds me. Like, I'm really curious to see like Predator Society, like just like it kind of looked like they were like doing battles and like they had to prove themselves, but like they always go from like that angle. But like, there's got to be like angry like teenager predators who are like, Dad, I don't want to be like you. I don't want to fight. I'm not trying to kill fucking humans or
You just
whatever.
have a
Like,
predator sitcom, just like
why?
Roseanne. It's like this fat predator, lazy.
Bro, I'd get Roseanne to play the predator.
It'd be the gig of her career. You just have all like Kevin Sorbo.
The comeback of his
It'd be like
century.
conservative predators. It'd be like Kevin Sorbo, Roseanne, Mel Gibson. We should pitch that. We have to like however I forgot how they talk like and it says subtitles say we have to erase the libtards.
That's probably how it is.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So that's straight in a weird direction.
Trying to think.
uh
It always does.
yeah.
It always does.
Uh
The Alien Earth trailer is really cool. That's a new show that's coming out where like it looks like a ship from around the galaxy that had like gotten like an alien and like some other weird, like creatures from around crash lands on Earth, and like humans don't want to fuck with it, so they send in like a bunch of synthetics to go deal with it. And I was like, okay, synthetics versus aliens. I was like, I'm here for it.
are they grooming us for what's about to come?
Maybe they are.
You know what you're gonna see.
It's all part of Trump's
You're gonna
plan.
see a lot of conspiracy theories come out of that. On the third sea, there's like it says the time was like 9/11, and so like on September 11th, that's when the orbs are going to come. They're going to take over the world. You're going to see so many different dates for the end of the world from that movie. Which
Probably.
that reminds me, maybe we'll close off with this. Is remember that I don't know if you ever saw on TikTok that now she's pretty hot actually, but there's this chick that was saying a while ago that May 27th was going to be the end of the world because she was like meditating or something, and like she got in contact with this alien who said that in a certain amount of days that the world was going to end. There's going to be this big fire, and of course May 27th comes and goes, and it's just like I get why people it's exciting to get. I don't know why they find it exciting, but they get into these dates that they think are going to be the end of the world, and then it comes and goes. Nothing fucking happens. It's the same shit, and then you just find a new date.
That's something that has been happening for thousands and thousands of years now, is people predicting the end of the world and it being wrong. How, like, what starts it
It's
off?
a grift.
Like, is
It's a grift. It's a way to make money. It's a way to. It's good to be prepared for like a non-certain date. Like, hey, if we don't do this and do this, then it could be the end of the world. Or whenever it happens, let's be prepared with these items so that if shit does hit the fan, we're prepared. I have nothing against that. But these people, there has to be money in it to where, for views, which equals money, to where they start saying this crazy shit, and then like people
Yeah,
are
that's
viewing it.
that's probably what it is now. That's probably what it is now, but like in ancient Greece, like why were dudes out there in the streets in their robes predicting the end of the world, you know? Or was it the same thing? There was some sort of monetary value in what they were doing.
Probably, or I don't know of any specific Greeks that predicted the fate of the end of the world. Um, maybe I mean they talked to the oracle, which would tell them certain shit, and the oracle was right a few times, but that may have just come from a place of
Yeah.
like like I was saying, it's like if you guys don't do this and do this, then it will be the end of the world at this point. There could have been troops advancing, um, and for them, the end of the world was like the end of their civilization. So
That's a good point. Their civilization did end.
yeah, yeah, and they were city
And maybe that
states,
girl
so it wasn't like a united Greece back
maybe that did anything crazy happen on the 27th where that could have been like proved that girl partially
then.
right?
To her credit, uh, there's been a lot of rumblings in Idaho. I don't know if you heard about this, where like they're afraid that Yellowstone's about to erupt, and then there's like a
Yes, I have been hearing this.
volcano in I think Italy has been erupting, and there's these solar flares that are coming. But dude, I had a dream where this is pretty funny, but so I didn't know what a Carrington event was. And so I had this dream where I looked at my watch. It was 12 midnight, like on the dot. And I look up and the skies, it just looks like how it does right now. It's middle of the day. And I was like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden I see this whiteness encompass me. And then my dream ends and I wake up in a panic. And I remember that like before I looked down on my watch, there was like there's like two kung laos fighting for like a promotion for the movie that's supposed to come out, and like there was like they released a trailer. So the, if I were a grifter, I'd be like, okay, so like 2 months before the movie comes out, I think it's like in November or October, so like around August September, there's going to be a big Carrington event. And there's solar flares going on right now. Solar flares are what cause these Carrington events. And if your Carrington event can fuck up our infrastructure or even kill our magnetosphere. And I didn't even know, I had to research to see what the fuck would cause daylight and like that midnight. And that's how I found all this shit out. And And so I was looking up articles of like from 2020 that were like, yeah, the next big Carrington event is predicted to happen in 2025. And I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, you don't see. Well, I guess I'm putting it out there now, but it was just a dream. I'm not really concerned about a Carrington event fucking us up, but it was just interesting. I think people just get excited and they want to think that they're like Neo in the Matrix or something, or like some superhero to where they predict something. That could be another reason why they do these videos is they think they're like it's some ego shit that's happening.
You know what's crazy is we all kind of lived through an event like that where what what did we what did you guys do on in 1999 roll on New Year's Eve rolling into 2000?
Um, well,
Like
I was 12.
were you guys like
We were kind of yeah, if I if I remember correctly, I do remember being up for that and being on my computer. And then once it rolled around, like I made sure my computer was okay for like about a couple minutes and then went to sleep.
Yeah,
So
you
there
okay, so
was
you
some
just thought it
warning.
was gonna be like a computer thing. There dude, there was a lot of worry that it was like, yes, computers weren't gonna break down, but like that was gonna cause like the fall of our society and like the end of the world.
Well,
So like I was like 11, like just like really invested in like the world's gonna fucking end tonight.
to be honest though, there was a lot of people behind the scenes, and like they had to hire engineers who were retired and shit for all these different software companies, and like to come and prevent that from happening. So who knows if they didn't try to fix all that. It's easy to say that somebody was wrong when they went through all these routes to try and fix it
When you
and nothing
to
happens.
prevent
Yeah,
it.
and you prevent it. You know, people do look like buffoons, but if they didn't try and fix it, who knows what would have happened? I think that might have been a legit thing that we prevented.
That's crazy, but I love it. But
The next big one is
um
2036 because
the next Carrington event or
no, the next Y2K type event is because I think it was the date starts from like 1970 or something where computers measure time in seconds. So by 2036, it's going to be such a large number that a lot of these computers that measure in that time, it's going to be such a large number that they won't be able to handle it. So they have to convert the code somehow, and some of these computers are not capable of that change. So there's something big that has to be. I'm sure quantum computers are gonna fix that problem by then. But yeah, there's this whole time travel. John Titor, like this time traveler that came in 1989. I say time traveler in quotes, but he was right about a lot of weird things.
let's touch on AI and time travel next week when we come back.
Cool.
That was our episode of Passed Out. Once again, I'm Josh.
Arash, thank you for listening.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.